Hello, and welcome to this edition of the Law Firm Blueprint. I'm one of your hosts, Jay Ruane, and with me, as always, is my man Seth Price down there from Price Benowitz and BluShark Digital. Seth, it's another week. The Law Firm Blueprint is chugging along. What's the mess on your desk this week?
For me, what's top of mind is recruiting. I'm at the point where I know how to market things, and that there are times when you just have to add water.
Yeah.
And we've talked about this before, but I'm really feeling the squeeze. I feel that law school demographics changed during COVID.
Sure did.
Right? Best and brightest wasn't always going to law school, or we lost a lot of the best and brightest to other things. They were like, I don't want to do virtual law school, and I can't say I blame them. We have the issue of loan forgiveness. School is so expensive now that a lot of programs have these 10-year loan forgiveness programs. So in criminal in particular, getting people out of the PD or the prosecutor's office,
They'll stay.
And the problem is at 10 years, which is the tail end of when you want to get somebody, right? Because then two things happen. One, they're not the sort of young, hungry person that you can help mold and train. They do have more experience. But secondly, they're halfway to their 20 years.
Yeah, and they're also entrenched with the mindset of a government worker. And now I'm not gonna court controversy by saying I would never hire a government worker, but I would never hire someone who has a decade.
Well,
I would never hire somebody who's at 5 years.
To be fair, I don't put the average public defender or prosecutor generally as a government worker.
I do.
I agree.
Absolutely, I do.
On the paralegal side.
See, this is where you're wrong.
Let me hear Jay opine on this.
So here's the problem, and this is coming from my life experience. When you get someone who's worked in a large office that is focused at one courthouse, and there's 6, 10, 15 of other people who do their job, they come into private practice and they think, somebody else can cover this. I can take a day off whenever I want. I don't have to work past 5. If I don't show up, someone else will just continue all my cases, and I don't have to think about it. And I can even take vacations and put cases down because it doesn't really matter. Then they come into private practice and they're like, well, I don't feel well today. I'm calling out. And my response is, well, then get case coverage. You put stuff down today. We got to run around and hustle. We do have overflow, but they don't have the same mentality of,
really? It's so funny.
I am responsible for these files.
I haven't had that experience. Our top lawyer in Virginia and Maryland both came out of the prosecutor and public defender service. And they it's also, you have to get the right people like anything else.
That's it.
Right.
Yeah.
So, and look, we had one guy who was amazing, who had been many, many years and sort of and went back to government. So it's not, history is written by the victor. When you get
I'll tell you right now, in the criminal mastermind, we've had the thread going in our Slack group all about hiring this week. And it has been consistent nationwide among the members of my organization, going down from first hire to 50th hire for some of the larger firms. And they all say, if they're a public defender and they've been around in that system, entrenched in that system for a couple of years or more, they fall apart when they come into private practice because they're used to, clocking out at 5 o'clock. I
don't know what public defenders you speak to. Our public defenders kill themselves. So
they kill themselves for the clients, but they don't think of it as a business.
No, of course not.
They're more social work type,
right? No,
and when they want to take time off, they are entitled to time off.
Well, and that's why I put my personal philosophy is give them the incentives with the cases. So you take time off, you just make less money. So it kind of sifts that out pretty quickly. Like, we're a self-selecting operation in that people that come are we're not sitting here saying we're going to pay you the most. We're saying, hey, here's a base that's less than most. This is how you're going to make more than most.
Yeah, but don't you find then that they spend a little time at your office, and the ones who can't close, can't make more money, just go back to government work?
As I said, we've had that once, but generally, of all my issues, that has not been one.
I mean, around us here in Connecticut, I am seeing senior lawyers, guys who are my age and older, so like mid-50s, now opting into government work. taking a public defender job. Granted, because they start in six figures here and have good benefits and good retirement and that type of thing. But I think I'm eating their lunch because they were, solos trying to hack it out. And now, the digital marketing and the branding that we've done has taken away some of those referrals they would have gotten because people are coming to us now. But I'm seeing a lot of older lawyers try to get those jobs.
Right. Right now, I guess we have a couple things. DC is almost not a market for criminal with the gentrification of the city. And during COVID, nobody was checking the income requirements
Right.
for people, for their cases. Everybody got a public defender. It was
Is
crazy.
is what's going on with the National Guard? Is that adding
I'm
to
not
arrests?
saying like I don't know what's going. Like they're marching on the mall. Like I don't. Look. Part of the issue is like if you wanted to really bring the National Guard, two things. One, they're not designed to make arrests. They don't understand that whole piece, right? They want to shoot somebody. They're pretty good at it. They're trained as soldiers, but they're not being sent off to like dangerous neighborhoods at night. They're
Right.
sitting there marching up and down the mall and hanging out at the Lincoln Memorial and like the visitor center. It's crazy.
Yeah, I mean,
So
it's a show for the tourists, really. It seems.
I don't even. I don't know what it's a show.
Maybe
for.
so the tourists from other areas of the country feel more comfortable coming to DC.
I think
I don't know.
Who knows?
I don't know, but I just I have made a position that we are not hiring anybody from government work because they just don't get what it's like to be in private practice.
Okay, so we talk criminal. We're having trouble hiring. Family had a nice run, and we're building. And I know you've had family in the past. I don't know how much you're running at the moment.
None, zero.
No.
I got rid of it. I don't like the clients, and I
Okay.
don't like the lawyers even more.
No, but look, it's taken us a long time to find people that comport with us. I get it. So this is a thought question going back to those days. It's a billable hour thing, right? I was not smart. I was not a Lee Rosen who figured out how to do the flat fees. There was one or two groups out there that have done that. But what we have done is started to realize that adding paralegals can scale a great attorney. That an attorney
Makes
can
sense.
bill X amount, and that each additional paralegal you add, so one attorney with starting off with 1, 2, 3, or even if you could get to 4 paralegals, can have a nice 7-figure operation. One of the things that I'm trying to figure out, because when you start out, you hire a paralegal, you're like,
Right.
but then you're like, okay, well, I'm paying the money, I need this thing to bill. And I've been crowdsourcing around the country to some of the people, my buddies, that have larger operations. And it's fascinating because you know how like I talk about my 25-25-50 deal on the criminal and family for that matter. But what I'm seeing here is that I thought I would be all over the place. There literally is a number, and I think it's 900 hours a year is the over under that a paralegal needs to bill, and it covers themselves. They're not rolling in it, but it essentially builds up enough revenue that you can build that lawyer to a better level than you could otherwise. And so I'm,
900 a year is not hard to accomplish.
No, not at all. And one of the things that, I'm thinking about is, do I bonus people beyond the baseline? So that
your paralegals do they have a billable hour requirement?
It's not a good KPI. We're looking at it, but it's like, oh, that person's high, that person's low.
So
what I'm
what
thinking about saying is, hey, here's our baseline
of 1,000
of 900 to 1,000.
I mean, you wouldn't go 900. You go 1,000.
No, I am. Well, hear me out on this. If I were to offer 2,000 or 2,500 for every 100 hours above 900, all of a sudden, this is a way to make an extra $5,000 to $10,000. Now, 10,000 is not going to happen, but if you're already paying good money, is this a bonus system that would actually, for a nominal amount, deliver what you need and paid quarterly? That's my current thinking.
I mean, I would approach it more in terms of if it's 1,000 hours, that's going to be your base for the year. I would say in a quarter you got to bill 250.
Right.
And we're going to pay out quarterly bonuses based on the number of hours that you bill above 250.
Right. It's 20, 25, $30, whatever you decide, some number per hour extra for everyone that's there. God forbid they bill 200 hours extra beyond your target. Pay $5,000. Happy to do it.
Yeah. Well, yeah, because I mean, think about it. At their billable rate, it's it's significant to the firm because they've covered themselves. Now you're getting into actual profit. That
Right. And that also leaves them with 1,000 non-billable hours,
right
which is supporting that team and making it more sustainable.
now, I don't do the billable hour. I never have really. But what do you guys do in terms of requiring them to record their hours? Are you record by the end of the day, record by the end of the week, record by the end of the month, record by the end of the quarter?
Well, look, I know from being a baby lawyer at Big Law that, day is fuzzy, week is, you know, moving towards nonfiction. 2 weeks, you're in a different world. Look, the
Yeah,
good news is software now, AI and emails make it a lot easier to figure it out. I'm debating. This is the part that I'm not going to get through. This is like parenting. I'm telling you what I'm going to do, and it's not going to happen. So, what I would say is, um, one of my thoughts looking at this is, in a perfect world, they would bill their entire 40-hour week.
oh yeah,
Right? No, no, no. And then you'd only, because my gut is that there's stuff out there that is billable that is not, and of that number beyond what they're billing, not everything may hit a client, but at least you're taking it out of their judgment as to what's billable and what's not.
yeah. I think that would be tough because I think in order for them to capture 40 hours, they probably would have to work 50, and you don't want to do
No, no,
that.
no, no. You're missing the point. They can bill nonsense. I just want it to be captured. I'm not saying
It'd
that
be
they're going to.
really interesting if you literally tracked minute to minute what they were working on,
You're
for
saying, hey, I'm saying their billable hour requirement is 900 or 1,000 minimum,
right.
and bonus beyond that, right? I'm thinking that in order to incentivize, like I could say 1,000, it sounds a lot better,
But,
but
but let me ask you though. You talk about incentivizing. Not everybody is incentivized by money.
I'm going to find out.
Like
No, no, I
honestly,
mean, look, you're right, but like, so it may be time off. I'll figure it out. But for every 100 hours or every 25 hours a quarter that you go over the minimum, there'll be some prize. And you know what? You're right. If it's not money, we'll figure out what their love language is.
yeah. I mean, because I think that's one of the things. That's one of the things that we actually ask as people come into our offices. How do you like to be recognized for exceptional work?
Understood.
And
And that also may change. That also changes with time.
absolutely. Like here's a perfect example. So today it went on sale. We have a local, small railroad, company that does the Santa Claus and Elves Christmas train. It's like a 45-minute ride, and they have carols singing, and they serve you hot chocolate, and Santa comes in and does this whole thing. And so they sell cars, and they sell tickets, right? But if you call on the very first day they are available, which is today, you can buy a whole car of 36 seats for like $3,600, right? So today at 5 a.m., my office manager got on the phone and got on hold and was waiting for them to get it. So she was able to secure two cars, for $6,400 or $7,200, whatever it costs. Now, one car is going to be given to my team who have kids. So, we're going to fill a car full of our people and take them on and have a nice day, and I'll pay for them to have dinner. My kids are a little on the older side. They don't necessarily want to do it.
They'll
So,
hang out with the Jews with the menorah and the
yeah,
latkes.
exactly. But my we let our staff that have kids know that we secured the Santa train in Essex for this day. And we actually have one of our team members who relocated to Florida
Come back.
decided today she's going to flip flop and do Thanksgiving here in Connecticut. So on that weekend, she can take her kid on the train
That's
with her
awesome.
husband. Like, so she changed which day she's coming, which is great. But the cool thing is that since I already was on the phone with them, I had Emily, I said, buy me a second car the next day, so that one day's on Friday for my people, on Saturday, prime time, Saturday, 2 p.m. And I just turned it over to a local children's charity. And they're just going to give it away to people that need to have a moment of joy because their kids are battling cancer, and so we're going to fill that car with just I don't know who's going to be on the car, right? Because I just gave the cheer and said, put people in the car, tell them it's a gift from an anonymous person. Have a nice day. And the charity was blown away because they can never get the funds together and get somebody on the phone at the time, and it was phenomenal. So like that's something that like my staff, they're like, well, we'll work extra hours because you hooked us up for this. Like they're gonna have to take a day off, and they're saying, well, why don't I work on a Sunday because I'm gonna have to take a day off to be able to do this thing. And I said, no, take the day off. It's all good. We'll figure it all out. No worries about that stuff. But I want to be as generous as possible to my people, and it's not in a cash for work situation. So that's the thing. Like you got to survey your people and see what they react to.
No, clearly. I mean, look, I start with cash because cash is king, but time off is certainly.
Now, let me ask you another question when it comes. This is good because this is something that I've wondered about. When I want to give cash bonuses, when I want to give bonuses for hard work, for something like that, do you put it in the paycheck or do you walk up and give an envelope full of cash?
Again, probably shouldn't have all this recorded, but I'm a big fan of, for, life events, the Tony Soprano style.
Absolutely.
Right.
That's what I was going to say. I want to make sure that you're doing it because if it comes in the paycheck, it goes into the checking account.
Couldn't agree more. I almost would rather do gift cards than but just anything into the paycheck. It's just lost. It sucks.
So when I'm at a Price child's wedding at some point in the future, know fully well they're getting the stack of cash.
Oh, right.
In the envelope. It's funny. My I got family in North Jersey that are of a particular Neapolitan lineage. And when my cousin got married, my parents are the whole Irish Catholic. You get them a nice crystal bowl and that type of thing with the card. I was like, no. We're giving envelopes of cash to this wedding because that's what's expected. And yeah, we showed up and my mother insisted on bringing the Tiffany bowl that she gives to everybody. But my father also had the envelope of cash to make sure that made it into the bride's purse.
You see that story that somebody ran off with the gift box?
Yeah.
Oh, it's awful.
It happens.
They caught the guy.
We get up here in Connecticut, we have a very large population of immigrants that do the cash envelopes. And we get one of those cases every year where somebody grabs the thing and gets and tries to run with it. One a year at least.
Do we talk the Philadelphia Karen, or has that been talked out?
No, we can talk about that. What are your thoughts on it?
Look, as a baseball fan, Yankee Stadium is rough in batting practice.
Yeah.
Like it was, most people, again, people had gloves, the ball in the hand, it's yours. Until it's in the hand, it's fair game.
Until it's in the hand, it's not yours.
And given the amount of time, I just happened to be up late that night when the stuff started to hit. So I saw way too many views of this thing. But the amount of time that it was done, the time to get it was not enough that it wasn't ripped out of somebody's hand. It's like at that point it's yours and it's gone to a kid.
No, I think in reality, she touched it.
Maybe.
And then it bounced into the row in front of her and he grabbed it. But
the more interesting
it wasn't
stories
in her possession.
We've both seen is when it hits off somebody's cheek and breaks a jaw and somebody else picks it up. And those are awful.
That's just life.
Right.
I've caught 2 balls at 2 games. In both of those situations, the balls have left with a kid who was sitting near me because I'm an adult. I don't need another. I got a bucket of baseballs in my garage. I don't need another baseball in my life. But if it can make a kid happy, it's absolutely going to the kid.
We had a life moment. We used to get pucks at almost every hockey game. And my son, as he sort of, started to shave, you're no longer at the point where it's yours. And he got the rule. It's got to be. And then, you know what? That's sort of like what it is all about. I think the one piece I'm going to flip this story on its head for a second, though. Look, this woman, crazy, awful. There is some sort of there was a short story. We saw a film when I was in grade school, like The Lottery, and everybody in the town got a ticket
Yeah,
ticket or
the
stick.
lottery. It's a great short story.
Yeah, exactly.
Everyone's got a ticket, and then the person who wins the lottery gets taken care of.
Well, right. They're stoned to death
It's
or
like,
something.
yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. It's like the Hunger Games in reverse.
And I kind of feel like that's what this was. Like, yes, woman's completely wrong, completely out of control. Who knows what she was on, what her day was, entitled, whatever you want to say. But the idea that we have a woman in North Carolina that just had her neck slashed on a bus. Like, that story doesn't make the New York Times,
Right.
but this is front and center. You know, that Coldplay, that we have all sorts of crazy, significant things happening in the world. And look, I'm as guilty as anybody. This isn't like I'm holier than thou. I'm like, I watched the feed. I was like trying to figure out who had the ball and
Yeah.
et cetera. I love the fact that both the Marlins and the Phillies took care of this kid. All great. But it is something about how the world looks at justice. And it's what is in front of you, and what, of the wrongs that have happened in the last 24 hours. This one went viral, but how many others would you be shocked at? Right now, the number of people sitting in jail for crimes they didn't commit, that can't get out. The number of documentaries we've watched from start to finish where you're pretty sure somebody didn't do whatever the hell they're in jail for.
Okay, you want to talk about, have you watched the one with the mom and the daughter? The unknown number one?
Yeah. Let's not give any much away, but oh my God.
That woman's crazy.
Crazy.
To say what she said, I mean, oh my Lord.
And look, and look, a great example the other way. Like, what's the right punishment for it? Like, this is like head blown.
Yeah, and I mean, we are, unfortunately, in our business, we're one bad day away from our firm being blown up because somebody did something that was absolutely bonkers crazy.
And I've seen it. We had an employee do something they shouldn't have done. Sometimes bluntly, they were given instructions, misconstrued, made a phone call and said something, and somebody decided to leave a bad review. And then all of a sudden they were in a circle. You could see it. And it was scary because there was a bunch of, and look, we were wrong. Love to have apologized and said, our bad. Didn't have the opportunity. Whole series of 1-star reviews come flooding in. Thankfully, Google is now sophisticated enough that they were able to decipher and get all but one, which was legitimate because we did something that wasn't, that one should stick if you did something wrong. But wow.
Yeah,
so
it's crazy.
So how do we land this plane?
I don't know. I mean, we've talked about a lot of different things, but the reality is that's the life of a law firm owner. There literally is every day you don't know what you're going to get. One of the cool things I'm doing with AI right now is I'm taking a lot of our training videos that we've done internally. Somebody who's out there might be interested in this. As we've taken our videos that we've done internally, and I have an assistant who's actually pulling the transcripts from them, cleaning the transcripts using Claude or ChatGPT, making them really polished and nice, no ums or ahs. Then I'm uploading them to HeyGen, recreating our training videos with an avatar so that it is perfectly spoken, perfectly timed, no ahs and ums, that type of thing. And it's really turning into a phenomenal product for our training. And we're actually we're on the Google Workspace. I know you are too. We're actually going to start using Google Classroom as a way to train our new intake and new support specialists and legal ops and that type of thing. And then what I need to do is really set it up so that as you onboard, you get assigned a classroom, and hopefully, if all this stuff gets built out the way I'd like by the end of the year, there's going to be classrooms you can enter if you want to get promoted. And so you could take the classes, take the tests, and show proficiency, and you could do that on your own time. So if I have a receptionist who wants to work into intake support, the receptionist, he can take the intake support classes, show his grades, and say, hey, I'm ready. Next opening, I'm ready to go.
We should be so lucky. Now, we do a lot of these courses online. We're up to 2 full-time trainers.
Wow.
Yeah, plus some overseas support. Those are domestic. So it's an investment, but you know what? It has meant that it is allowed for scale. And that's
Yeah.
the key, and I think someday somebody's going to figure out the law firm in the box. The question is, will our audience and beyond want to pay for it? But that is one of the things that always shocked me, that we're all these little practitioners figuring it out for ourselves, and a lot better knowledge than we had before. And speaking of that, before we get off, are we going to see you at the Fisher event in DC?
I'm getting closer. I'm not 100%. I haven't. It turns out my son is active in the media team at his high school, and they are presenting on the back to school night. So when I floated it that I might be out of town, he said, "But Dad, I really want you to see this thing I've been working on for 2 weeks and 3 weeks by then." And so
Well,
I'm
presumably it's I'm being tongue in cheek. Presumably it's online. You can sit
But
down
it's
and watch
not.
it.
That's the thing. It's a big media presentation in their new innovation center, and
The innovation center that doesn't digitize.
No. They won't. They have all the stuff, but it's a maker lab. That's what it is.
No. I understand, but
right. But they're not streaming it. Maybe they will. I don't know. Maybe they will stream it. I should ask him that.
Very good.
I'll do that. I thought I had clearance from my wife, and now I'm getting blowback from my oldest son. And me, I'm going to pick them over anything else. So I'm working it. I'm putting more work into this than I put into some other of my cases, I think, over the years. So we'll see.
Very cool. Well, hopefully it works out.
All right, folks, that's going to do it for us this week on the Law Firm Blueprint. Of course, you can take us anywhere you want to go on the go by subscribing to the Law Firm Blueprint podcast. You can get it wherever you get your podcast. And if you want to catch us live 3 p.m. Eastern, 12 p.m. Pacific, live on LinkedIn and live in our Facebook group called the Law Firm Blueprint. So please join us every Thursday live or take us on the go. Be sure to give us a 5-star review. That's going to do it for me. I'm Jay Ruane. He is Seth Price. Thanks for being with us. Bye for now.